Hello drivers! In today's video we are going to discuss about Driver San Francisco because it appears that Ubisoft really don't want this game to exist. And in fact it will not be the first time that Ubisoft is negatively impacting the state of Driver San Francisco. They started by delisting it in 2017, then they removed the online features access, and very recently they even erased the game page on their website. And to avoid any confusion, because I've read that some people have shared the news, it is not about the game store page because it was gone a long time ago, but just the description on their game list that you can find on their website. It is the page that you can see in the background, so just the description, the features, the release date, and on their website you can see the list of all their game released since 2008. But recently they removed many games, not just Driver San Francisco, but also Call of Juarez, Onks 2, Trackmania Canyon, and Driver San Francisco. And thanks to archive.org, we can see that the page was still there on March 30, but not on April 18. So it is concerning about terms of game preservation or just the series legacy, because unlike the game store page that might be put on car licensing, the fact that the game page was completely removed is concerning because there was no point of doing so. And of course, the more pessimist ones will see it at the final nail in the coffin of the whole Driver series, while maybe if you are more optimistic, it could be done because a new port or new version will come and then the 2011 page is no more relevant, but well, that's maybe too much optimistic. Since we have no official statement about the removal of different games on their list, we can only assume for the better or the worst. Therefore, I wanted to discuss other topics related to the Driver series, let's say the most recent ones, starting with the cancellation of the live action series back in July 2024, so less than a year, because at the same time Ubisoft officially stated that they were working on multiple Driver projects that they were very excited to announce on a later date. However, since then we had the launch of Star Wars Outlaws and it started the beginning of the Ubisoft financial struggle, and by that multiple organization transformation. Also some projects were cancelled, but we don't know which of them, so let's hope it was not Driver related, but we never know. At the end of 2024 we also had rumors about Driver remastered versions started by PH Brazil. These remastered versions were supposed to be tied up with the Switch 2 launch, but since then the Switch 2 was announced, the release date is not so far away, and still no news about any Ubisoft games being remastered for the Switch 1 or other platforms, so this might not be rumors that are materializing. Now about Ubisoft itself, so as I said, they had financial struggle, so maybe it has impact any potential Driver projects, especially since in their latest financial release they stated that they are focusing on their biggest IPs, so Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six Siege, The Division and Far Cry, but at the same time they might need some lighter release because those big games have been pushed to the next fiscal year, so maybe it's the best time to launch smaller projects, maybe Rayman, maybe Driver, Splinter Cell remake, Assassin's Creed 4 remake. But still, it will not explain why they removed Driver San Francisco game page in the first place. Now, about Ubisoft's reflections themselves, since They last year celebrated their 40th anniversary with this beautiful t-shirt, by the way, that they sent me at the beginning of 2025 with Driver San Francisco, a Ubisoft original. So again, first time that it was used in official merchandising, this subtitle. I made a video about it. But since then, sadly, the Ubisoft financial struggle impact Reflections, and more especially Ubisoft Leamington, which was its partnered studio. Ubisoft Leamington closed. Ubisoft Reflection had to fire 100 employees. Now Ubisoft Reflection has updated his website, I guess at the beginning of the new fiscal year, so April 1st, but it was mainly to remove any mention of Ubisoft Leamington. So they changed a bit the layout, the text, the image, but at least they kept in the video banner the entrance to their studio, which feature a big Driver San Francisco artwork. Now, if you go with your mobile to the website, you will not have a video banner, but just the image of Driver San Francisco artwork. And the managing director, Lisa Opie, has a small speech in the About section where Driver is mentioned. So not too much, but at least Driver is still mentioned. If you go to All Games on their website, you also see Driver San Francisco still there, but it is just a picture, so not the game page that was removed on Ubisoft's website. And finally, to end this video, another small news about DRIV3R this time is that Ubisoft spent 1,000 euros to renew the European trademark of DRIV3R, because you should know that there is a trademark for the Driver series, but also one for DRIV3R because it is written with a 3 instead of E, as you must surely know. So it is common practice to do so. So I'm not saying that a new DRIV3R remastered or anything will be released, but it's funny or interesting that they are going to spend like 1,000 euros to do so, especially since DRIV3R was never sold digitally at any time, either by Atari or by Ubisoft. But they still spent 1,000 euros to do so, and they did it like 1 month ago, so it means that now the DRIV3R trademark is renewed for 10 years, but they still need to do this for the main Driver trademark, but they have more time to do the renewal because it will be at the end of 2025. That was a video that discussed many different topics, but all related to Driver, to Ubisoft Reflections, and Ubisoft financial struggle. And I don't have any explanation on why Driver San Francisco game page was removed. I've seen on Twitter that for the other game removed, such as Call of Juarez, it can be explained because the rights have now been owned by Techland, so not Ubisoft anymore game. For Trackmania Canyon, well, there is no explanation. It is still sold on Steam. And Onks 2, I think there was also an explanation, but not for Driver San Francisco. And again, it is not something that needs any IP rights to be just maintained online. So it's not like selling the game here. We are just talking about remembering it or telling that it existed, that it was released in September 2011, even though the game page always had a typo about the game release date. And I believe that for game preservation or legacy, it is important. Not that it will not be remembered, because of course the Driver community is more active than ever, and I'm not going to stop making videos just because Ubisoft is not displaying the game on its game list anymore. But I hope we will have a confirmation one way or another, maybe good news, or maybe just some kind of servers errors when it switched to the new fiscal year. So yeah, let's try to stay optimistic here. I hope that you have learned a thing or two with this video, and if you have any theory about why the game disappeared, feel free to tell them in the comments, because I read all the comments and sometimes, like almost always, I respond. And let's try to figure out what happened to Driver San Francisco. In any case, thanks to my Red Weavers for supporting the channel, DRIV3R.com, French Contact, Neurosins, David Autosport, Mut. I'm not telling them in the usual order, so maybe I will forget one or two. There's also Poniac, Denis Frontier, Olanov, and I think that's all for now. So if you want to join them, please click on the blue button below the video. And in any case, see you soon, drivers.